how to overcome anxiety when you're on the stage as a public speaker coming up in this video. Hello everyone, Marc Guberti, host of the Profitable Public Speaking Podcast. And one of the big things I hear about people who want to be public speakers is that they are afraid of getting on the stage. They are anxious. They think about presenting in front of that entire crowd. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. If you guys want more about public speaking later on, I do a lot of videos on that. I even have a podcast about it. So definitely hit subscribe and the notification bell if you guys want more public speaking tips, strategies, not just to get on the stage confidently, that's really good, but also how can we sail on the stage and make money. So that's a little bit of what we talk about on this channel. But when it comes to the anxiety part of being on the stage and being afraid of that whole idea of being on the stage, there are two reasons that people are really afraid of the stage. One is that you're talking in front of hundreds of people, and this is like, oh wow, I'm suddenly talking in front of hundreds of people who are all like looking at you, and if you make a mistake or something like that, everyone's gonna see it. That's what a lot of people think. The number two reason that people are afraid of getting on stage is they don't know their material well enough, or they're afraid they'll mess up on a slide or something like that. But the key theory around this is that people are afraid of messing up on the stage, and they don't want others to see them, others to judge them, like hundreds of people. And that's the kind of thinking process that leads to the anxiety. So one of the best things you could do to get more confident on the stage, reduce the anxiety, is to just talk a lot more about the topic that you present on stage. So I've done a lot of YouTube videos, I've done a lot of training courses. If you do more videos like this where it's you in front of a camera, that's going to make it a lot easier for you to talk on a stage. So one of the reasons that people are anxious about stages, even if they've done it before, even if they are public speakers, and the anxiety keeps coming back, the reason that happens is because they got on the stage, they do well, but that is like 6 months later in between gigs, and there's no like videos happening, no podcast interviews in between that. So that's one of the big reasons that people get anxious, because they don't, like right now I'm talking about the topic and I'm doing videos just like this, and that's just makes me more confident when I do get on the stage. Practice really allows you to thrive on the stage. But there is certainly more to it than just practicing, because in this video right now, you're watching it, yes, but I'm all by myself. I'm just looking at a green circle that is recording me. And as long as I look at that green circle, my eyes are looking in the right way. Now, sometimes I don't always look at that green circle. That's why sometimes I look there or something like that. But I just have a green circle I have to look at on this computer, and I'm all by myself. Public speaking on a stage of 100 people with them all looking at you is something different. So when it comes to, you know your material, but you're still anxious because you've got hundreds of people looking at you as you do this gig, one of the things I would realize is, like, you're gonna know your mistakes. If you say something slightly off, you will know it, but your audience won't. They don't know your presentation nearly as well as you do. In fact, they know nothing about your presentation until you give it. So any like small mistake you make, don't even worry about it, because your audience doesn't notice that mistake. And in the end, they just care about the value that you can provide. If you give them a great experience, even if it is rough at some points, but if overall you give them a really great experience, that's what they care about. That's what they'll also think about in the end. And it does come to a point where no matter how big the audience gets, you'll be fine. It's just presenting to an initial audience. So one of the things that I'd recommend is presenting in front of family and friends, because that's a safety zone. Because if you realize that you did not do the slides properly, or there's something that shouldn't be in there, you'll figure that out better to do that in a safety zone, like you're just have family and friends as the audience, instead of figuring out on the stage that something is wrong. So if you rehearse the presentation in front of people who will give you corrective feedback and will help you make it better, that's going to help you when it comes to getting on the stage. And even if this is a presentation you've given, but it's been like 6 months in between speaking gigs or quite a while, and you haven't done videos or podcasts in between, I would recommend looking at all the slides again, rehearsing it again, like doing the whole thing from start to finish, just so that you are ready to rock when you get on that stage. Now, when I do say rehearse, there are different ways to rehearse. I feel like when you are beginning and you still have a lot of anxiety, I would literally rehearse it the way you're going to give it. But if you're more of a seasoned public speaker and you just want to make sure you have it all memorized, there's some anxiety, but overall you feel good about it, I would just rehearse the slides and just know what points you have to hit on for each slide and know how you're going to transition. Basically, the more you know about your presentation, the easier it is for you to give a great experience. And as long as you don't focus too much on what other people are thinking and you just focus more on providing value, you're going to be fine on the stage. And one final note is, if you get on the stage, you're on that stage for a reason. They don't do lottery picks and pick someone to be on the stage. Like, you're on that stage because someone trusts you, because someone knows that you have the value that the audience needs to hear. So know that when you are on that stage, you are there for a reason. People have basically said, we believe in you. And if you have all this outside support, you should be able to believe in yourself as well. So if you do have that positive mindset, if you believe in your ability to give a great speech, even if like every single night, just write down, I believe I'm a great public speaker, or I am a confident public speaker. If you write like phrases like that, just 2 or 3 every night before you go to bed, your subconscious is going to work while you're sleeping. And eventually you are going to be that confident public speaker who doesn't have anxiety anymore. So you can write that down like 2 to 3 times per day, and especially write it before you go to bed so that your subconscious is working on that for you to go from anxious public speaker to confident public speaker. So that's pretty much how to go from anxious public speaker to confident public speaker. If you guys want to learn more about the business side, how do I make money as a public speaker, how to get more gigs in the first place, how to organize your own small events, which is also a great way to make a lot of money as a public speaker. Those are some of the topics we talk about on the Profitable Public Speaking podcast. And you could also schedule a free strategy coffee if you want to learn how to grow as a public speaker. So if you enjoyed this video, you want more like this, make sure you hit subscribe and notifications bell, and I will see you in the next video. So until then, dream big, achieve greatness, unlock your potential today.